You're probably wondering what pineapples have to do with the election. Well, stick with me, folks, and I'll explain it all in a minute. Hey everybody, this is Deb with Truthification Chronicles, and yeah, you're probably wondering about the pineapples. Well, the War on Pineapple, Understanding Foreign Interference in 5 Steps. This is a document put out by CISA, which is Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. So, we're going to get into this, and this whole video is going to be dealing with the cybersecurity that is in place, and the government really has been working to make our election secure. And before we get started, I want to tell you that I am working on a video called Mr. 17 Goes to Washington. Unfortunately, it's a kind of long video, like about an hour and a half right now, and I'm editing it. It's going to take me a while to edit. So what I think I'm going to do, since I can't live stream because I live in the boondocks, I'm going to do it as a premiere. That means I can be in the live chat when it's going on, and y'all can watch it kind of with me. And if you have questions, then I can respond to questions and everything. I can't do it verbally because I just don't have a fast enough stream to be able to do that. But I can type in questions and answers and all those kinds of things and interact with y'all. So I think that'll be kind of fun. But my question is, I need to know whether you want me to do it on Friday night at 9 o'clock or on Saturday night at 9 o'clock. It'll be up to you. I'm going to put a poll up in the community tab on my YouTube channel, and it should come up in your stream if you're getting the notifications. So you can vote for that, and you can tell me which one you prefer, and I'll just do whichever one gets the most votes, because I'll have it done for Friday night, but Saturday night, if you think that would be better too, because it is kind of long. But hey, we can all hang out together, have some popcorn, and it'll be kind of fun, right? And it'll be new for me. I've never done that before, but we're going to try it and see what happens. Let's get going on this, because I found a big bunch of stuff about what our government is already doing to keep our election secure. I thought this might be good for you to hear about, because, everybody needs to be assured that we're going to get a fair shake. And they are working at it. This is an infographic they have, and it's War on Pineapple. So they've put this out, and basically this is how it goes. Now, the whole thing is based on the idea of whether you like pineapple on your pizza or not. Okay, I am one of those people that pineapple does not belong on a pizza. It just doesn't. I'm not big on cooked pineapple, period. I love fresh pineapple, but cooked, canned, I'd eat canned if I have to, but cooked, I really just don't like. Pineapple upside down cake, don't like that either. So I came across this. I really thought, well, this is an interesting way to show it. But what they're trying to do is show how this one item, this particular argument could be used as a divisive tactic for some organizations, from outside our country. So it starts out and says, targeting divisive issues. Foreign influencers are constantly on the lookout for opportunities to inflame hot-button issues in the United States. They don't do this to win arguments. They want to see us divided. Keep that in mind. That really is at the heart of things. And so, like over here, American opinion is split. Does pineapple belong on pizza? An A-list celebrity announced their dislike of pineapples on pizza, prompting a new survey. No matter how you slice it, Americans disagree on the fruit topping. You can tell me below if you like pineapple on pizza or not. But okay, 2, moving accounts into place. Building social media accounts with a large following takes time and resources, so accounts are often renamed and reused. Multiple accounts in a conversation are often controlled by the same user. Pro tip, look at an account's activity history. Genuine accounts usually have several interests and post content from a variety of sources. That's like real people do that. But notice what they do. Begin with username Berliner123, change to Pizza Pro, change to Prof Pizza USA. So that's what they do to maintain the number of people they have, but they can, keep swapping it out. And for those who don't know, like on Twitter, you can change the name people see. I mean, you still have the same @username, but what people actually see when yours comes up in the feed, you can change that. You can change it to say whatever you want, and you could change it all the time. So you could easily mislead people. And there are several out there that do like parodies on the famous people. And so you have to be really careful. There's a few of them out there for Donald Trump, and they just spell things different. Like they put the rule Donald Trump instead of real, or, they spell it slightly different. They put a 1 instead of an L. So you have to be kind of on the ball catching those. Make sure you look for the blue check mark when it comes to President Trump. You got to make sure it's him. Anyway, so that's the next one. And then it says 3, amplifying and distorting the conversation. Americans often engage in healthy debate on any number of topics. Foreign influencers try to pollute those debates with bad information and make our positions more extreme by picking fights or trolling people online. Pro tip, trolls try to make people mad. That's it. If it seems like an account is only aiming to raise tensions, think about whether it's worth engaging. And, being anti-pineapple is un-American. Millennials are ruining pizza. Keep your pineapple off my pizza. What's wrong with Play-Doh cheese? So I like the illustrations they put over here. 4, making the mainstream. Foreign influencers fan the flames by creating controversy, amplifying the most extreme version of arguments on both sides of an issue. These are shared online as legitimate information sources. Sometimes controversies make it into the mainstream and create division among Americans. This is a foreign influencer striking gold. Their meddling is legitimized and carried to larger audiences. Being anti-pineapple is un-American. Pineapple pizza controversy rocks the U.S. Number 5, taking the conversation into the real world. In the past, Kremlin agents have organized or funded protests to further stoke divisions among Americans. They create event pages and ask followers to come out. What started in cyberspace can turn very real, with Americans shouting down Americans because of foreign interference. Pro tip, many social media companies have increased transparency for organization accounts. Know who is inviting you and why. Join your fellow pizza lovers at the town center to march for pineapple. And pizza is for pepperoni. Yes, pizza is for pineapple. Okay, anyway, and I understand the pizza thing, guys. Just kind of set that aside for a moment. I believe they're just talking about pizza. Okay, but this was an interesting infographic that I found when I was looking into this. This is an article by the Cyber Command, Paul Nakasone, who is the head of the Cyber Command right now, General Nakasone, and they put together this article. It came out August 25th. This is in the newest issue of Foreign Affairs magazine, online magazine, I guess. I don't know why the picture didn't come out, but it's Nakasone testifying in Washington. And then if you read it, it's a good article to read if you're into like how they approach cyber interference and everything. I thought it was really interesting to read. I didn't see much in here, but I saw some left-wing sources that were saying, oh, they've been given this extra special ability to be able to do stuff for, the election, and it's not going to be good. They can overstep their boundaries. Okay, that was the article I read from a left-wing source. And so, you look at this and you think, no, they're pretty much doing what they're supposed to. One of the major things that they've done since 2018, 2019 is they've implemented, instead of just sitting back and waiting for cyber attacks to hit like our military and our government, they've actually been more proactive about it. So they don't just wait until it comes in and then try to fix it. They're actually going out and looking for this type of malware and the different types of viruses and things that they need to worry about. And that's what they're trying to find out about them and find them before they can be used, which makes sense to me. I mean, that's kind of what you want to do. That's called a hunt forward mission. And that's what they've been doing. So, in my opinion, after reading this, I just think that they're doing what's logical and what should be done. So it was an interesting article about our Cyber Command, if you don't know much about that. Well, that led me to several other sites, especially under Homeland Security, and they do have entire sections on election security. If you want to, you can read through a lot of things. Mostly in this video, I'm giving you like resources you can use and dig into on your own if you want to. But here's another. They've got a lot of infographics, just a lot of them. But this is kind of how it happens. Pre-election activities, you have your voter registration. They have how it's handled. And election day activities, they have how those are handled and tallied and the results. And then post-election activities, because I don't know if you know, but after the election is over, there are also things they have to do. The election officials don't stop just on election day. So this was interesting to go through and read. And the infrastructure is what they're dealing with. They're trying to make sure that it's safe in many ways. And so they're looking at all the possible ways that it could be attacked by foreign influences. And, it's going through now. It does not they're not dealing with PACs or campaigns or any other non-state or local government election related group. So they don't deal with that. That's not what they're focused on. They're focused totally on the actual election infrastructure. Those are the things they're looking at. They see it as a partnership because what they're digging up is then relayed to the election officials in the various states. And then they use that information, or hopefully will use that information, to make that particular election safer. And that's really what I'm understanding they're doing. Ultimately, it comes down to the local election officials. And that it's required that they have equal numbers from both Republican Party and Democrat Party. They need to have people overseeing it. And when things are counted or whenever anything's done, it has to have members of both parties there to witness it. So it's supposed to be fair. However, there are ways around it if they want to. This just kind of gave me good information about what they're doing, the Department of Homeland Security, what their responsibilities are. And mostly it's about sharing this information, that they're evaluating the risks, they're looking at where the problem areas are, and then they send that information to the local officials. And they're the ones that implement it. And they give them ideas on how they can counteract those threats. So I'm not saying that it's foolproof, but since you're supposed to have both Republicans and Democrats involved in the process, they should actually implement a lot of the things that the DHS is telling them. And I mean, there's a plethora of information here. They've got all kinds of additional information. There's this hashtag Protect 2020. And that's essentially a national call to action initiated by CISA. It's the Cybersecurity Agency, the lead federal agency responsible for national election security, which is very interesting that that's who it is. So I believe it's probably under General Nakasoni's purview, which is good because he's a white hat. So we want to make sure that it's safe. And so he has done that. They have a web page, and it has some of the information about it. And then you can go through and see all the rest of these. I mean, they've got them when you get here, they're all like this, but lots of stuff that you can find. They have even security news and updates that you can follow. And so there's tons of information on here. Because, me as a teacher, I like to give you resources so you can do digging on your own. Okay, this website was started on March 15th of 2019, and they just updated it on August 20th. But this is what they're doing. This is the strategic plan. You can click here and read it. And then they have, on July 31st, they had the guide to vulnerability reporting for America's election administrators. And again, these are things that are publicly available. You can read them. You can see what's being given to your election officials in your area. And, if you are aware of what they're getting, then you'll be a better informed person when you go in to vote. And so they just go through all these different things. The resources, they have a lot of resources here. They have an incident detection and notification planning guide for election security. And then the War on Pineapple graphic that I showed you. Disinformation stops with you. I thought this was really interesting. They have infographics here that are dealing with disinformation. And we've talked about this many times before. Disinformation is when you put out information that you know is false to further your agenda, whatever it may be. And, you know, we're not just talking foreign interference here. We're also talking domestic sometimes. But there's a lot of disinformation going around these days. Misinformation, if you remember, is when people say something and it turns out to be false. When the person or news agency or whatever put it out, they thought it was true. So they didn't do it with the purpose of misleading or deceiving people. And disinformation, though, is definitely to deceive. So, you know, you can go through here. They've got all these different one-pagers. Think before you link, talk to your circle, recognize the risk, question the source. You know, I'm big on that. Question the source, investigate the issue, foreign interference, taxonomy. I mean, these are great infographics if you go through and look at all of them. I would have opened them all up, but, you know, you can look at them yourself if you see it. But then they go through and talk a little bit about foreign interference and understanding the risk, questioning the source, investigating the issues. So there's a lot of things that they include here. And these are some of the things I thought it was interesting since 2016, which means after the 2016 election, this was implemented. Gee, I wonder who did this. It sure wasn't Obama. But yeah, they have done some things to try to make our elections safer and to, you know, keep them from being able to be influenced by any foreign or domestic influence. So they are working on it. There's a lot of things that they've been trying to do. These are some of the partners that they have in it. And these are things they suggest to the officials that might be able to help keep the election safe. And so I thought, you know, that's just very interesting. It is a huge amount of information. Again, I'm going to leave the links down below for you so you can look through them. But there's just so much, it's hard for me to focus in on any one thing. Although they did include Mueller's report here. Like, that's worth reading. And the Senate Intel Committee did a report, and the House did a report. Well, this was, you know, House of Representatives Committee on Science, Space, and Technology did one. The DOJ, that was the indictment of those, the Russians, the Internet Research Agency Russians in the Mueller report. And so anyway, so these are some different things that you can go through. 12 ways to spot a bot. That's a good one. And how democracies can defend against disinformation, how to combat fake news and disinformation, how to spot false news infographic. These are good. You know, go through, look at a few of them, see what you think of them. And then they do just a report here on foreign interference. And you've got, again, some of these things you can download here. More election infrastructure security, because this is very important. So it has been addressed. And here are a couple of them that are kind of nice. I brought, let's see, here. Mail-in voting risk, they do assess it and they address it. So when people are saying in the news that it doesn't exist, you need to ask them, why in the world is there this CISA report then? Because CISA seems to think that there are risks. And look, here's an infographic that shows them. So these are the risks. And then over here on this side is the compensating controls, things that they can do to mitigate those risks. And so I thought that was kind of good. And here, mail-in voting in 2020 infrastructure risk assessment. And this is like 11 pages long. So yes, key findings that they do have infrastructure risks when they're dealing with mail-in ballots. So this addresses it. It's not that it can't be addressed. It's just that there are things that do need to be implemented if they're going to do this. So that's what I've got for you on this one. I wanted to share something with you, but like I said, that other one is just taking me so long to edit. And I knew it would. After I got done with it, it was like, oh, I can't believe it's that long. But it'll be fun if y'all hang out with me. It really deals with a lot of Mr. 17 and a little bit of my journey into why I follow his posts and what I believe about him. So you can join me. I hope you will. But make sure you take that poll and tell me whether you want it Friday night or Saturday night. But it'll be at 9 o'clock Eastern time, no matter which. I mean, that's just kind of going to be the best time for me. I'll still be awake. And it also makes it a little later, at least so the Pacific people can get in there. And it won't be too early for them. But yeah, let me know which one you want. I'll put the poll out. You'll see it probably before you actually see this. And you can let me know which you want to do, which you'd rather see. And hopefully you'll all come and join me and we'll just have a big chat session. Make a bunch of popcorn, okay? So that's what I've got for you on this one. I want to thank you for stopping by, and I'll see y'all later.